Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 22nd of April. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Incitec Pivot, Appen, BHP, Vulcan Energy and Alkane. So if you have a request, please send it through to me. Make sure you're getting the free newsletter every Thursday. However, if you want our best ideas, you need to be getting the Dynamic Investor Report, which comes out every Tuesday. But if you do like these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review on Facebook or Google. Our core business is portfolio management, so if you'd like to open a broking account and deal with me directly, then please give me a call. And any advice here, of course, is general only. So I've got a daily chart here of Incitec Pivot. So we could see that if we go back to November, we could see that it had this consolidation and then a breakout. That was the buy signal. And then it's trended pretty well since then. It is still in an uptrend. However, as we could see here, volatility has picked up. So we had this down day here where it dropped quite a bit before recovering for a few days. But then it started to fall away again. So look, the uptrend's still there. It is one I sold out of a few days or so ago. I just don't like this volatility. I just think it'll probably just chop around a bit here, to be honest. And I think as long as it stays above this February low, you can't get too negative. So it may well just hold on to that, chop around and then get ready to go again. But as I said, it just needs to hold on to that February low. Happens. So if we have a look at the most recent sort of deterioration in the share price, we could see that we had this sort of huge drop here on quite a lot of volume, but then it didn't really get worse. So could be a sign of exhaustion. So after a couple of sort of disappointments over the last 6 months, it could just be a sign of a lot of investors just giving up, and then potentially there is accumulation setting in down here. But we'll just have to see. If we move to a weekly chart, I mean, we could see that it's a fairly key level for it. So we've got the COVID low in March, and obviously we've got this there was a bit of resistance here towards the end of 2018. So it's at the right levels. It's not making any higher highs yet, so a bit too early to say that we've got a bottom, but I think at best it just forms a base here for a while, since this does seem to be a good level for it, and then once that's over, then you can consider the next uptrend. BHP. So look, I'll jump over to the monthly chart. I mean, as we could see, we on a much longer term basis, the recent move is actually quite a significant long-term breakout. So very clear resistance here. Breakout means that we should get significant movement over the long term here for BHP. But coming back to the daily chart, we could see that it's still got that uptrend, and even most recently, I think this price action's been pretty encouraging. So, even just in the last week, we could see sort of the gap up, came back for a couple of days, but sort of the buying in the dips come back in. So I think just BHP should just continue meandering high from here. Okay, Vulcan Energy. So obviously massive rally here on volume, and then we could see that the heat's come out of the share price, but it's been on decreasing volume, which is a positive. And then volume here start to pick up. So what we've seen is, bounced here, came back to put in a higher low. And then on this move here, it made a higher high. So that, in my opinion, was the buy signal. So we got this higher high on increasing volume. So it's run for a couple of days, eased back slightly in the last few days, but that just looks like a little correction. We could see there's no volume here on the way down. So I think generally this should continue to head higher shortly. Obviously we're not going to get this kind of move at the moment because we've got all these sort of, all these existing buyers looking to offload, but at the moment it looks like it should continue higher. Okay, in alkanes, so you see a big decline here, but some encouraging signs so far. We've got this sort of higher low, higher high. So it looks like this downtrend, sort of early signs that this downtrend is over. Just need to see it do a little bit more here. I think this 80-cent region seems to be an obvious resistance level. So I think especially if you could see it pop above 80 cents, it starts to look a bit more encouraging. All right, well that's all for this week. As always, if you have a request, send it through. I'll try to include your stock for you next Thursday.